Hey, what's up, you guys? This is the M3A Interceptor expansion pack. I hate that there's a second ship called Interceptor. Ugh. No, it's nothing like the TIE Interceptor. Let's check it out. This is the second ship I'm reviewing from the Wave 6 Scum and Villainy expansion. We're ripping all that stuff out. We're going to come look at this thing. Alright, there it is. No, I'm just kidding, it's backwards, it flies this way. It's kind of like an insect kind of ship, right? I'm not that familiar with where these guys are in the expanded universe, but it's actually not too bad looking. It almost reminds me, in a slight way, and this is just, I don't know why, but it almost reminds me of the Cloud car. Like, and I know it's not orange, and I know there's not two of them, and I know it doesn't look anything like it in any way, shape, or form, but for some reason, something about this ship reminds me of the Cloud car. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to paint it orange. Who knows? Okay, so it looks kind of grummy and grimy there. You know, it looks kind of dirty. Honestly, not the most pretty ship that we've seen, but I think it's what it's basically supposed to look like. So, you know. All right, that's the ship. Let's take a look at the dial and the cardboard, and then the expansion cards, shall we? Yes, we shall. Alright, M3A Interceptor, comes with numbers 45. Here's the back. I guess this was a big deal. I guess the spoiled maneuver dial had the 1 and 2s as being white, so they're actually green, the 1 bank and 2 bank. I'm sorry, the 1 bank left and 1 bank right. The 2s are the same. But yeah, so he's not too bad. He doesn't have a 1 forward, but he's got the hard 1, which is really important. He's got the all the 2s. He's got a couple of 3s. He's got a 4 forward. He's got 2 K turns, so he's got a fairly good dial. You know, I like ships that have 2 K turns, so you have some options there. It's not a bad dial, not bad at all. And then there's the things. So if you notice, also these guys, they're orange. You know how the Rebels are green and the Imperials are green and the Rebels are red. These guys are orange. So, all right. So let's look at the cards. Let's look at these pilots. All right. Here we go. Serisu. This is the top. I think the highest pilot skill guy in this whole faction. Right, or at least tied for. I think he's the highest. I think he's the top guy. No, wait, Boba Fett, right? Boba Fett's an 8, so he's tied for it. All right. Serisu, when another friendly ship at range 1 is defending, it may re-roll 1 defense die. This is your Howl Runner for defense. This is the swarm guy. You want him defending other ships. You also want him protecting himself. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a whole lot that you can put on him, but they do have the titles, which will fix that. So that's the whole idea with this ship, is the titles. You can decide how you want to outfit them. He's really weak. These are really weak ships. Only 1 shield, only 2 hull. You know, a proton bomb direct hit is always going to kill them. But, you know, and they don't have the best firepower. They're kind of like TIE fighters. They're kind of like TIE fighters, but they're more expensive. All right, but you can outfit them with some more stuff, and they have a pretty good dial. TIE fighters don't have target lock, so they can target lock because one of their things is missiles and stuff. So, okay, here's the next guy. Leighton Ashera. After you defend against an attack, if the attack did not hit, you may assign 1 evade token to your ship. That's actually really cool. So here's a defensive guy you want to probably take an evade with, in hopes that they attack you and they miss, and you get to, it replenishes. If you spend the evade, it replenishes itself, right? Or if you just roll naturally 3 evades and don't have to spend the evade, then you get another one. So he can be progressively harder and harder to hit. He's really cool, but naturally they're going to attack him last. Wouldn't you think? I don't know, but it all depends. His pilot skill's a little high, so he's likely going to shoot before somebody else does. So, if he were like a pilot skill 1, that would be great. You save your focus or your evade. You focus with him, you save it till the end, and like, okay, and then if I survive, then I can spend it. But you'd be tempted to spend his focus pretty early if you took it. So maybe evade's the best way to go for this guy. Oh, and keep in mind, he's the second top pilot. He has no elite pilot, but this generic here does, which is pretty cool. At only 17 points, he has an elite pilot skill, the Tansari Point Veteran. He is pilot skill 5, which is really good for a generic. We're seeing a lot of high pilot skill generics in this whole wave, which is I'm a big fan of. So yeah, he's got the elite pilot skill, and he only costs 17 points in pilot skill 5. And then our Cartel Spacer, he's costs only 14. He's still more expensive than your typical TIE fighter, but he's also pilot skill 2. So I could see a possibility of running a swarm of these guys, but it'd have to be a small swarm because you don't want to run them just naked like this. You don't, and I'll show you why, because they've got some cool upgrades. I'm going to start with the Heavy Sick Interceptor. This is a title you put on one of them. Your upgrade bar gains either the cannon, the torpedo, or the missile upgrade icon. So you have to choose, right? And so it has some new stuff like that. It actually doesn't come with any torpedoes. Interesting. All right. So this is basically what's going to make them. Now this costs 2. So so already you're going to increase the cost by 2 plus the whatever cannon. I mean, cannon's pretty much the premier. I don't know anybody who's even considering missiles or torpedoes right now. Maybe if they fix those, rumor is Wave 7 might have something to do with that. So that would be awesome. But yeah, right now it's just cannons all the way for this guy. Here's the next thing. This is awesome. This is really, really good news for a lot of people. Stealth device, right? What? But Crabbok, this is an old upgrade. Yeah, but you used to only be able to get it with the fire spray. Now there's a second way you can get a stealth device. If you want multiple stealth devices, you now have a second way to get it. This is huge. And justifies a ship that maybe you wouldn't have got otherwise. Okay. Comes with ion cannon. We've seen this 1,000 times before. Nothing really special about this. I hate this card. All right, next one. Flechette cannon. Here's a new. So let me go back. Instead of just dismissing the ion cannon, it's not that bad. It's three dice, but you're gonna, if it hits, you're only gonna do 1 damage and give him an ion token. It's range 1 through 3. Costs 3 points. It's pretty low costing for a cannon, but it's got better cannons. The Flechette cannon is kind of a cool one. Kind of like the ion cannon. Actually can work in tandem with it if you have one of each. So it's Flechette cannon. It's also range 3. And it's also 3 dice. And if the attack hits, the defender suffers only 1 damage. And if they're not stressed, they also gain a stress token. So it's cheaper than the ion cannon. You can potentially stress and ionize somebody, which is huge. So this is cool. That's nice. Very nice. Mangler cannon. This is the one thing that people are most excited about with this expansion. It's a 3 dice cannon. Costs 4, right? But this is probably like the second most powerful cannon next to the heavy laser cannon. Some would argue it's more powerful. You attack one ship. It's range 1 through 3, which is already better than the heavy laser cannon. And when attacking, you can change one of your hits to a crit. So it's got that built in. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to spend a focus. You don't have to do any of that. You just can change a hit to a crit. So you're almost guaranteed a crit this way. This is really good against decimators, right? This is really, really good in the current meta, but I have a feeling decimators aren't going to be quite so popular because there's a lot of stuff in here to counter decimators. Well, and turreted ships in general, but specifically decimators. So when attacking, change one of your hits to a crit. You may, and obviously you would probably want to do that. This can work also, this works pretty well for rebels. 10 numb anybody, So this is also really good for the YT 2400. If you're using the Outrider title, this doesn't have a blind spot, so you'll be able to shoot at all ranges. So that's really good. So this is a very popular card. So check it out. You only get one of each of these things in here, but you only have one ship. So that is the M3A Sick Interceptor.